Welcome, everybody. Who here knows John Cage, the pianist? Yeah, all right. He wrote a piece called 4 Minute 33 Seconds, where he comes up onto the stage, filled concert hall, lifts up the case of the piano keys, lifts up his hands, and everybody's, what's he gonna do? Famous composer. And then he just sits there for 4 minutes and 33 seconds, an eternity for the audience. So all that to say, Ajahn Nisabo and I are going to be doing that on Saturdays, just at the beginning. Rather than us like running out here and then bing right away and starting things up, we're going to come out and just, all right, step back, get a little bit of silence before we start speaking at you all. So I hope you could all appreciate that, and we're expecting too much. And we'll just start off with a few announcements, as we usually do. I think we've got one from Bonnie and one from Matt. Maybe Brianna? Yeah. Matt, is close.
Hi, I want to encourage people, especially new people, new faces, to volunteer to be mic runners, or a little bit scarier, to do the invitation to a talk. And the reason I'm saying new people is not because we're short on volunteers, but just because volunteering, getting involved, seems to really change people's relationship to the group and feeling like they're a member of the community. So there's a sign-up sheet there on the back, and we're just going to work out a schedule over time. And we invite you all to engage in this wonderful process. And I can tell you, mic running is not very complicated, okay? I mean, I don't want to diss Greg here, because he's exceptionally good at it. But it's not that hard to learn. Thank you. And the sign-up's right over there.
Maybe Bonnie?
I'm telling you, it's hard.
Hi, good morning. I have a few announcements. We are in need of a Saturday manager. It's a little more complicated than mic running, but it's not too bad. You don't need any prior experience, and you're working with a team. I'm not going to go into detail about what it entails. If you want to talk to me or Dawn or Aruna, we'll gladly explain a little bit more. We're also looking for people to commit to making coffee every Saturday. And I would say if you drink it, you might want to think about making it. That would be a very big help, so the same people aren't committed every Saturday also. We did a deep clean last week, and we condensed things and got rid of a lot of things. And we appreciate all the help that people give cleaning up. If you don't know where something goes, ask. It would be great if we could keep these things organized for a little while and not find lanyards in the coffee tote. So just a heads up on that keep helping to clean up, but there's 2 coffee totes and a kitchen tote, and that's all we're using. So yeah, we're gonna try to keep things neat and clean. September 20th, we will be in Blodell. Just a heads up for everybody to keep that on their calendars, that we won't be here, we'll be down in Blodell. And I think that's it. I have a list. Oh, one last thing. For cleanup, and Gary's gonna announce it also, before you start washing the silverware, let the coffee people go in and clean up the coffee. Let them be first. It just makes sense, because then that's more to pack up. So just some little housekeeping things here. Thanks. Pardon me? Blodell is back there behind the cathedral. Parking, they have asked that we park by Blodell, not where we're parking now for Skinner and the cathedral, but back in that south corner. So there'll be, I'll send out announcements on WhatsApp and Discord too to remind everybody.
Thanks, Bonnie, and definitely encourage people, if you're at all inclined or want to find a way to tap into the community, just talk with Bonnie or Dawn, Aruna, Matt.
Hi everyone, I'm Brianna. Just wanted to do a quick update. We gave an update at the robe offering ceremony about the land search, And I promise you no intense fade note with what I'm going to say, so don't anticipate anything. But just wanted to touch base and let you all know that we're still working on it and that we're still waiting, essentially. So there's been a slight delay in the sort of processing of our offer because of some administrative things that need to happen. It's not bad news. We're still feeling very optimistic, but we do have to endure a bit more and flex our patience. So just want to make sure that the community knows that we didn't give that announcement and then forget about you all. We just have been waiting. And so we invite you all to continue your chanting and your well wishes and your metta towards the land. And we will give you information as soon as we have it. And I cannot tell you exactly when that will be because it keeps being longer, but hopefully soon.
Thanks, Brianna. And just this coming week is our last week of the extended Zoom meditation hours. So for Monday and Tuesday, we'll keep up our mini hours online. Chances are if you go online to our Zoom site, we'll be meditating. So lots of that. You can go to our website to find the exact hours, and that'll be Monday and Tuesday. Then we'll go back to our normal 3 hours a day of Zoom meditation. So, and today, first Saturday of the month, people have a chance to take the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts. This is kind of like the basis of a Buddhist faith, Buddhist ethics. So the 3 refuges, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, that's the Buddha, the principle of awakening. The Dhamma is principle of truth, the way things are, and the Sangha are people who've attained awakening, having practiced that truth. And the 5 precepts are just the foundation for what it means to be a human. So no diss if you don't keep all these, but yeah, it's kind of a Buddhist idea.
Page 126. 126. Mayam Bhante Tisaranena Saha Pancha Sila Niyajama Tutiyampi Mayang Bhante Tisaranena Saha Pancha Sila Niyajama Tatiyampi Mayang Bhante Tisaranena Saha Pancha Sila Niyajama.
So I'll recite this formula in Pali, and people are welcome to join in if you feel comfortable with this, if the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha are meaningful in your heart, if it's got a working idea behind it, feel free to join in, and if you're not at all comfortable, no worries. So page 128, and just I'll recite 3 times, and then you recite after me 3 times. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi.
Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi.
Dhammang saranang gacchāmi.
Dhammang saranang gacchāmi.
Sanghang saranang gacchāmi.
Sanghang saranang gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi Bhutang Saranang Gacchami
Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami.
Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami
Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami.
Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami
Saranakamanang Nititang.
Ama Bhante.
Okay. And now I'll recite these in Pali, and then you can recite it in Pali, and then I'll do English, and you could do English as well. Panatipata Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami.
Panatipata Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami.
I undertake the precept to refrain from taking the life of any living creature.
And to take the precept to refrain from taking the life of any living creature.
Adinna dana veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Atinatana Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami.
I undertake the precept to refrain from taking that which is not given.
And to take the precept to refrain from taking that which is not given.
Kame sumichachara veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Kame Sumisachara Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami.
I undertake the precept to refrain from sexual misconduct.
And to take the precept to refrain from sexual misconduct.
Musawada veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Musawata Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami.
I undertake the precept to refrain from lying.
And to take the precept to refrain from lying.
Sura meraya majjapamadhatana veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Sura Meraya Machapamathatana Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami.
I undertake the precept to refrain from consuming intoxicating drink and drugs which lead to carelessness.
And to take the precept to refrain from consuming intoxicating drinks and drugs which leads to the carelessness.
Imani pancha sikapadani samadhiyami. Silena sugating yanti, silena bhoga sampada, silena nibuting yanti tasma silang visodaye.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
It's a really great way to start the month, to start the morning, and with that we can meditate together for a bit, for about 15 or 20 minutes. So in any meditation, first thing to do is arrange the body in a posture which is supportive of the mental posture that we're trying to cultivate. That is a posture which is upright but not uptight, which is awake and alert but also relaxed. So you can lengthen your spine. Imagine a string gently pulling up from the top of your head, gently pulling up the whole spinal cord, spinal column, and then another invisible string attached to the base of the spine, attached to a weight that's gently pulling down. And around this central upright column, everything else, all the rest of the muscles can just relax. And this is a dynamic posture. It's not that you set it up at the beginning and then you never have to pay attention again. You want to keep one part of your mind at least gauging your upright and relaxed posture throughout the sit. And with the body upright, we can bring our attention to the mind. And it is surprisingly easy to just go on autopilot, to the extent that you're supposed to be meditating for 20 minutes and then the bell rings and you realize that you've been asleep for the last 15 minutes. So it's good to give the mind, give the heart some work to do. Part of meditation is work. It's a type of work that leads to more and more subtle, more and more refined, less and less coarse movement. And so we want to go beyond just more or less mindful. And so to that end, I'll just lead us on 2 different body scans of the body. And so people are, of course, welcome to meditate how you used to, but if you would like to experiment and see what this might mean to be more than more or less mindful, to do a little bit better than more or less mindful, I invite people to bring your attention to, with your eyes closed, bring your attention to the feeling of the face. And not just the thought of the face. See if you can feel your face from the inside. And here the Buddha gave a simile, said that mindfulness is like a plowshare, like the blade which touches ground. So as we're feeling the face from the inside, see if you can actually feel something which is a reality test. Okay, there's the mind and there's the body, and we're syncing them up. You might feel, okay, there's a twitch in the eyelid. Or some pressure on the cheek. Some tensing in the forehead. Just something that lets you know, okay, this isn't just imagination. I'm actually calibrating the mind with the body. I'm feeling the face from the inside. And that twitch, that feeling, whatever it is, there's absolutely no right answer. It's just whatever is right here, right now for you. And then noticing that that sensation is impermanent. It is anicca. Whether it's a twitch or some kind of fuzzy feeling, some coolness, some breeze, some pulsing, especially in the face, which is so sensitive. The changing nature of that is oftentimes very obvious. Touching ground, feeling face from inside, and then knowing that this feeling is impermanent. Now bringing attention to the back of the head. And here too, touching ground. And by that I mean, again, this calibrating mind with body. This isn't an imagination exercise or a visualization. It's feeling from the inside. And again, looking for something in the back of the head which is not amorphous, which is not just blob of the back of the head, but okay, that muscular jerk or that slight hair movement, a little bit of wind, a little bit of contact, and just seeing that changes. Even if you're watching it and it seems like it persists, it definitely will change. And on one level, it is currently changing. And now coming down, moving awareness to know the throat, know the neck, the whole neck, front, sides, and back, inside and outside. And again, touching earth. What is going on in the neck right now to let you know that this isn't just imagination? Okay, this is my carotid artery. This is my pulse. Feeling that pulsing, or maybe feeling the touch of your collar. And just noticing that that will change. It is changing right now, and it will certainly change in the future. And then moving awareness down into your left arm. And see if you can know the whole arm, the upper arm, shoulder, and the forearm. And touching earth. What feeling right now lets me know that I'm feeling from right here, right now? Could be the heat of your forearm touching your leg, the heat under the arms, touch of your clothing. Again, there's no right answer, but really do look. Really do look. This is one way we can stay in the present moment, because the body is always in the present moment. And one other way to reality test is you can actually open your eyes and look down. And is your arm where you actually thought it was? It's not at all uncommon for people to have this mind-body dislocation, this faulty sensory apperception. It seems like I'm feeling the arm or the leg or the body from the mind feels it like this, and then I open my eyes and, oh, it's actually a little bit left or a little bit right or a little bit down from where I thought it was. A weird thing. If you don't have it, no worries. But just calibrating. Okay, there's the arm right now. And moving awareness into the left hand, feeling the whole hand, again, a very sensitive part of the body, and touching earth. Can you feel the blur and the whir of sensations at the fingertips, or the touch of your fingers on your clothing? And if all of your experience from the neck down just feels like a blob, you can even move one of your fingers or multiple of your fingers around just a tiny bit. Okay, there it is. Okay, I really am knowing the body from the inside, syncing, calibrating mind with body. And again, noticing impermanence. Feeling the surface of the skin, especially really sensitive parts. It feels more like we've got a cloud body than this fleshy skin bag. Impermanent, and going up and feeling the whole right arm, from the shoulder to the upper arm and the forearm. Touching earth, what lets me know the mind is in the present body? Knowing from the inside. And this is a way to hone your mindfulness. Don't look past this or just think this is a waste of time. Because really, time is what we make it. And what's fascinating about meditation is that anything can become fascinating. We're training our capacity for awe. Going into the hand, feeling impermanence. This hand right here, feeling like an electric cloud, or whatever it is for you. And coming to the whole upper front torso, upper chest and the belly. You can feel a little bit of heat at the surface of the skin underneath our clothes. Is your mind here right now? Or are you asleep? And it's fascinating. We're going in big chunks of the body, but as the mind gets more refined, you can really scan the body like this, millimeter by millimeter, and just be fascinated that I didn't know that I could feel the pulse in my fingers anytime I want to. I didn't know that I could feel my stomach churning anytime I want to. Know the heartbeat, maybe even in its different chambers. And knowing it's all changing. Blood's constantly circulating, and certainly the molecules are constantly moving. And the whole back. This is back. And being kind with the whole process. There's no right answer. And why not? Be present. This is your back. You've had it your whole life. You'll have it for the rest of your life. And knowing that its feelings are impermanent. And then everything from the waist down. Both the base of the trunk, both calves, both thighs, both feet, touching earth. Okay, this actually is touching earth. I can feel the contact of skin on clothing, on ground, or chair, whatever it is. And this is changing. Training in the capacity for awe and interest. Why not? And then just in the last minute or so, see if you can allow your awareness to fill the whole body from the top of the head down to the soles of the feet, left, right, front, back, knowing the whole body. Reality testing. Okay, here's the feeling of clothing, feeling of flux, the feeling of flow, and it's all changing. And if you are feeling any kind of tingle or this cloud body, any sense of that, allow the awareness to be filled with metta or loving kindness as well. Just may this whole body, this whole cloud, this whole experience of body and mind right here, right now, may it be well. May I be well. And if you feel like a cloud, realize that there are no boundaries in front, behind, around, and everywhere. May I be happy and may all beings be happy. And then just resting in that we're.
if you like to request for Dhamma talk with me, it's on page 124 before we do the request for Dhamma talk. Let us bow 3 times to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha first. And already, let's bow. Brahma Jaloka Tipati Sampati Kat Anjaliyanan Tiwarang Ayajatha Santi Tasatta Parachaka Shatika Tese Tu Dhammang Anukam Pimang Pasang.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. Well, I hope that you all feel a little bit tingly right now. In a good way, not like a heart attack kind of way. But yeah, it's fascinating to feel impermanence like that from the inside. So I thought today to start off asking everybody a question. And this is not a rhetorical question. And it's a question which you may have heard before. You may have heard it from like a blunt coworker or from like a male businessman on a plane or a female business person on a plane or from your second cousin at Thanksgiving. And they've got mashed potatoes in their mouth. And the question they ask you, they ask me all the time because I'm wearing the outfit, but they've gotten the feeling because maybe you've got a Buddhist hat or you've just been doing Buddhist stuff, but they get the feeling that you're Buddhist-ish, at least. And the question comes, and again, non-rhetorical. I would love to have, if anybody has quick wisdom, please raise your hand and I'll call on you to answer. Because it's a hard question, and it's good to have group, let's share our group knowledge on this. But what do Buddhists even do, anyways? What do Buddhists even do? What do Buddhists even do? Answers. Because that's what they do. They look at you, they ask that question. What do Buddhists even do? Come on, you're wearing the shirt, and yeah, please.
Check in every day. Sometimes more than once a day.
You check in. I can recite. I can repeat them. Yeah. So Gary says we check in every day. Okay. What do Buddhists do? What do you Buddhists? What do you Buddhists do? Yeah, please.
Try to see things as they really are.
Seeing things as they are. Great. Yeah, please. Practice compassion for oneself and all beings. All right. Yeah, Coda, what do Buddhists do? Contemplate. Okay. These are good answers. No, I'm not going to be like, no. It's, yeah, Bonnie, please. Meditate. Follow the precepts. Okay. Okay, and maybe just one more response. Yeah. Practice a helpful way of living. Okay, these are great answers. And now that I've asked it, you should ask yourself, if you aren't one of the bold people to raise your hand and respond, ask yourself so you'll have the answer in case people start thinking you're Buddhist and they start asking you, what do you guys even do? What do you even do? And I won't say it's a good question. I won't say it's a good question, but it is a common question. And one fast way you could answer, one succinct answer that the Buddha gave, he gave in the Ovada Patimokkha. Very succinctly, he said, do good, refrain from wrong, and purify the mind. 3 things. Do good, refrain from wrong, and purify the mind. So that's a good answer, but it's still a bit broad. Like your second cousin still has the mashed potatoes in their mouth, and they are not satisfied. Okay, what does that even mean? And the question, it's not so well formulated because it's not actually, one, their idea of what doing, what do you even mean by doing? What do we mean by doing? What's a Buddhist conception of doing? And really what's underlying their question is fascinating to try to examine, and it's kind of hard to address in the moment. But what they're really asking you to do is to justify your existence, justify the calories that you eat, and yeah, they're asking you basically about your work. If you weren't wearing these clothes, or if they don't know you're Buddhist, you say, oh, what do you do? What do you do? And someone's basically asking you for what your livelihood is. But I think it's good to actually stop, and it's good to have an answer for questions that people are likely to ask us along this path, but it's also good to be able to ask ourselves these questions, and how would we feel good about the answer? And Tolstoy, I'll quote him because it's possible that my dad and my grandma are tuning in for the very first time. Hey Dad, hey Grandma, if you're there. South Carolina? All right. But he really likes Tolstoy, and Leo Tolstoy. And Tolstoy said, for God's sake, stop for a moment, cease your work, and look around. So he said, for God's sake, and we can use some Buddhist language, for the Buddha's sake, for the Dhamma's sake, stop what you're doing, okay, cease your work, and just look around. And all of us do, in some measure, have that freedom, have that leisure to ask that question. You're all here. That's why you're here. We've stopped what we're doing. We've stopped for a moment. We're not working. These are our days off. And we're asking ourselves. And it's good to do from time to time. It's good to even do, like Gary was saying, check in every day. Actually stop. And it's great once a day, but even, why not 3 times a day? Why not every hour? Why not set an alarm on your clock, your watch, every hour to tell you, okay, there's one of the reflections for monastics is the days and nights are relentlessly passing. How well am I spending my time? Or another translation, the hours and the moments and the seconds are ticking by. What am I doing right now? The days and nights are relentlessly passing. How well am I spending my time? So big question, very intimate question. And so we'll look at both of these, what it means to do in Buddhism, and what it means, what is work? What is work in Buddhism, in the Dhamma, in Pali? So for doing, really the whole of the path, the whole of the Eightfold Path is doings. The Buddha talked about different types of karma. And karma, what does karma mean? Karma means action. Karoti means doing, to do. So karma is action. What am I doing right now? What's the karma that I'm doing right now? And when you ask somebody at a cocktail party, oh, what do? You just want a quick answer, you don't even want like the elevator pitch. You want like, okay, just tell me in 1 word or 2 sentences like what you do. But doing in Buddhism, it's much more refined, it's much more nuanced, it's more subtle, because it's not just what you do, what you get paid for, what you do from 9 to 5, Monday through Saturday. That's not the extent of karma in Buddhism. Karma really is happening, whether we're conscious of it, we're doing karma all day long. The Buddha said, what is karma? Karma is intention. Karma is intention. And how many types of karma are there? One way of saying it is there are 3 types of karma. Karma is done by body, by speech, and by mind. And there was once another ascetic at the time of the Buddha, a non-Buddhist monastic, who comes up to the Buddha and says, which is more blameworthy? Bad action by body, by speech, or by mind? And the Buddha says, bad action by mind is the worst. And the Buddha then asks this person, what do you think is the worst? Bad action by body, by speech, or by mind? And they're like, no brainer, it's by the body. Obviously, you can see that. People get killed by the body. And the Buddha says, okay, are you sure? Do you stand by that? And the guy's like, yeah. And then, are you double time? You sure? Yes. Third time. Okay. And the Buddha gives a great formulation for why mental effort, the intentions, are really, on one level, more important or more foundational than the physical actions that we do. Take the example of a knife going from being held by one person's hand into another person's belly. If the intention is that of a doctor going into that belly to say, I'm going to cut out this cyst, and then the person dies. Okay, that's one, not at all the doctor's intention. Their intention was one of compassion. How can I do what's best for me? Being a doctor, great karma for themselves. Helping other people, that's great karma. Good karma all the way down for that doctor. But take a thief, take a murderer, they take a scalpel, or probably they've got like a knife or something, but knife, boom, somebody's stomach. Totally different intention and different, it's an absolutely different moral weighting. It's a different action. That's murder. Whereas the other one was, accidental death based on good intentions. So in Buddhism, mental karma is really what we need to be paying attention to. And what we're doing as we meditate is we try to sit down and look at one object or look at the process of change in the body, really coming back to the body rather than just spinning out with more and more thoughts, which are not necessarily and usually aren't connected with the body. We come into the body and become more and more, we're training in being able to look at our mind, look at the processes of our mind, become more and more aware of our intentions and the subtler and subtler intentions that we have, because that's karma, and we're doing it all the time. So paying attention to this is really important, because we're doing, so your cousin asks you, what do you guys do? Well, we're doing all the time. Me talking to you right now, you listening right now is karma. You not listening right now is karma. Intentions, an intention of kindness, compassion is karma. An intention of, mean skepticism, the meanness, both of them are karma. But the greed, anger, and delusion that we have is the negative mental karma that the Buddha told us to be wary of, because in the popular Thai aphorism, tam di dai di, tam chua dai chua, if you do good, you'll get good results. If you do bad, you'll get bad results. And what that's talking to is mental action, intentions. If you have good intentions, then the results will be good at some point in the future, and to some extent in the present moment. So that's, very broadly speaking, that's what we do. All of us, whether we're Buddhist, or we're not Buddhist, or we're Christian, or we're non-religious, you're a nun, whatever you are, we're doing action. We're having intentions all the time. And that's important, and to realize the importance of that. The Buddha in the Dhammapada says, the first verse of the Dhammapada says, mind precedes all phenomenon. If you speak or act from a corrupt mind, then suffering will follow, like the wheel, the hoof of the draft animal in front of it, the hoof of the ox. The ox is pulling the cart. So that's how suffering, this heavy karma, which just churns. If you speak, act, think from a mind which is kind of corrupted by greed, anger, and delusion, then you'll just get grinded up with suffering, the Buddha says, in the future. And second verse is, mind is the forerunner, mind is chief, everything proceeds from mind. If you speak or act from a pure mind, from a mind of loving kindness, of generosity, from a pure mind, then happiness, sukha, that follows like a shadow that never leaves. And if you were in super hot India at the time, you want that shadow and you never want it to leave. So that's great. If you're in Seattle and it rains all the time, you might want some sunshine, but yeah, you do good and then the good results will follow. So that's karma. But this work, so the whole reason I was thinking at all in this to talk about work was because Monday was, anybody, this past Monday? Labor Day. Yeah, I knew that too. But it took me to be sitting for meditation 10 hours a day on Labor Day to even ask the question, what is Labor Day? And why do we not work on the day that's supposed to celebrate work? And what am I doing? I'm like meditating for 10 hours with a bunch of other Zoom great people. What are we doing? Like, are we the ones who are working? Is there an equivalence by meditation is definitely work and, grilling and throwing hot dogs is not work? I mean, what is work? And this is more complicated because the English word is complicated. Work can mean just effort. So the factor of the Eightfold Path, which is right effort, sometimes work or labor just means effort. So that effort that we're doing, the work we're putting in, that is work. And we're doing that. We're exerting effort all the time as well, even if the effort is one of just getting better and better at letting things down. Until we reach Nibbana, Nibbana literally means cooling. It's a full putting down. Another synonym, another name for Nibbana is letting go, the full letting go, the full dropping. And what are you dropping? You're dropping this absolute compulsion, which all of us have to grind, the grind set, just constantly going. And we don't know how to stop it. And it just eats away at us and it churns away. And what we're doing in meditation is just slowing that grind down. If we can, to some extent, it's like neutral, shifting your car into neutral to some extent. Some forms of meditation is training your capacity to say, even if the mind is churning, the gears are moving, I'm experiencing greed and anger. You can train yourself. This is a meditative move. It's a specific kind of meditation. Not all meditation is doing this, but it is the metta awareness, which you can put yourself in neutral. Okay, there is greed, there is anger, but I'm actually untouched. I'm untouched by it. The gears are still moving. There's still action going on one level, but I'm less touched. On the level of jhana or samadhi meditation, you really are working with those gears to slow them down. You're working at lubricating the gears of the heart. You're working at really letting up all the causes, all of the thinking. What jhana is, what samadhi is firm foundation of mindfulness, which is not just constantly stirred up. We don't know how to not think. We're obsessed with that. And this other form of meditation, samadhi, is one of getting better and better at doing less and less. And nibbana is when we, fully disengaged, and not disengaged as in disassociated or depersonalized or derealized, but it's an absolutely fundamental, real experience of the liberation of the mind through non-clinging. It's another synonym for nibbana, the liberation of the mind through non-clinging, utter putting down. And before then, we're doing the karma, which leads to the end of karma. That's the Eightfold Path. So we have work as effort, and we have work as livelihood. Sometimes labor means livelihood. And it wasn't until 1938 when, Roosevelt actually made it by law that you've got this rough 40-hour work week. And basically, you're working for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. That was roughly the norm from 1938 onwards. And oftentimes that's what your cousin is asking you. That's what your blunt coworker, your coworker knows what you do, but that's what people are asking you when they ask what you do, they're asking you what you work. What do you do from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday? And it's not really an interesting question. It tells somebody something, but what you do, i.e. what you do Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, is, it doesn't really have to reflect much of who you are at all. You're so much more than that. It doesn't have to reflect that deeply on you at all. So this fetishization of work during the workday is what the question is asking. And so in Buddhism, we've got this other path factor of right livelihood. And I won't go too deeply into that because basically I moved to a monastery at age 23 and I've been being a monk, which we do have livelihood. Livelihood is not just this modern idea of 9 to 5 workday. Monks do have livelihood. Literally, the Pali word is ajiva, which means living. How am I living? How am I spending my waking hours? It's not just what is, on paper for my occupation, but it's how am I living? Which is a more interesting question. It's how am I living? What is my livinghood? Which applies before I go to work, it applies after I come home for work, it applies to what I do on the weekends, it applies if I'm a monk, if I'm a layperson, it applies if I retire. It's all of this. And this doesn't have to be onerous. Again, Buddhism is all about putting down, learning how to put down skillfully, and learning how to not work in a healthy way. So many people, once, certainly workaholics, they've been doing this 9 to 5 job for 40, 50 years, and then they try to retire, and they just don't know how to stop, and they don't know what to do with their time. They don't know how to spend their hours. And so what we're doing on these weekends, what we're doing when we come together for Zoom meditation or your own meditations, wherever they are, however long they are, these are pre-retirements. You are training so that when you actually do retire, you're not just going to be totally floundering and playing Angry Birds all the time. Yeah, that was another shout out to Dad. You know. So how are we spending our time? What is our livelihood? And another fascinating sutta is the Buddha shifts it to worldview. We've got this modern worldview which does prioritize this workaday Western, this weird Western educated, industrial, rich, democratic way of looking at work. I may have spelled weird wrong. I get I's and E's mixed up all the time, but it's weird, historically speaking. So the Buddha looked at the worldview and he said, in a well-taught Dhamma and discipline, or you can think about it in a healthy worldview, those who are energetic live in happiness, and those who are lazy live in suffering. But in a unhelpful, unintelligent, non-smart worldview, those who are energetic dwell in suffering, and those who are lazy dwell in happiness. Did you all hear that? That is profound. That is profound. In a unintelligent worldview, those who are energetic suffer, and those who are lazy live in happiness. Think of a worldview, think of a hypothetical world where everyone was a slaughterer, worked in a slaughterhouse, butchering everybody, your boss, all the society says that killing animals all day long, that's the height of humanity. Anybody who doesn't do that is lazy. In that world, which is, our society doesn't exactly say that all the time, but what is our society telling us about what is meaningful work? What is our society? Is it an intelligent worldview, or is it this unintelligent worldview, this unthought of, what, when we do it, is going to lead to our own happiness? In the Buddha's teaching, you've got this sutta called Striving According to Dhamma, which is at the end of the chanting book, because we rarely chant it because it's so hardcore. It's on page 115. If you ever want to look at it, I won't necessitate that you read it because it's so heavy, everybody. It's so heavy. And basically, it's just putting the value. I'll just read parts of it. So this is enough for a practitioner who has gone forth out of faith to arouse their energy thus. Willingly let only my skin, sinews, and bones remain, and let the flesh and blood in this body wither away, as long as whatever is to be attained by human strength, human energy, by human effort, has not been attained. Let not my efforts stand still. Bhikkhus, that is practitioners, the lazy person dwells in suffering. And here he's talking about lazy in the context of Dhamma. Those people who are lazy with regards to wholesome mental states. Those who are lazy about not curbing their anger and their greed. Those who are lazy dwell in suffering. If you just follow your greed, anger, and delusion, because that's what you're doing, and the society says, that's totally cool. That's cool. Yeah, greed? Yeah, Amazon? Great. You'll buy more stuff. Thumbs up. But in the Dhamma and discipline of the worldview of the Buddha, the lazy person dwells in suffering. And next line, soiled by their evil, unwholesome states, and great is the personal good that they neglect. The energetic person, though, dwells happily. And here we're not saying, we don't want you to feel like you have to be grinding away after you get home from work. Really, hopefully, meditation will be a very calming and peaceful experience. Hopefully, it will be something that you can look forward to as you get better and better at it. It can be a training at better and better happiness, less and less harmful happiness. And this is the type of energy, this is the type of virya. The word literally means, it's based on the word for hero. This is the heroicism of Buddhism, is to practice the path and really look at what you're doing with your mind. And if you're lazy with that, the Buddha says, then you'll dwell in suffering. If you're just sloppy with what you're doing with your mind, then you might suffer because of that. Whereas if I'm going to pay a bit more attention to how I speak and how I act and how I look and what I'm going to say and what I'm thinking even. The people who pay attention to that, you can see it in your relationships. The more cognizant you come of this, of the dangers and the liabilities of speaking from a harsh and angry mind. You've seen it in your relationships. They get better. Why is that? Because you're less of a jerk. You're less greedy. So this is the type of happiness and the type of peace that we can practice on this path. It is one of cool and getting cooler, of letting down. And if you do like this, you won't, if this is the type of work you do, like for monks, there is no retirement. Because on one level, we're already retired, and on another level, there's no retirement because our work is intentions, body, speech, and mind all the time. There's no days off, which is totally cool. You'll never find me or Ajahn Nisabo at the bar. We don't own pants. We don't own any money. If you think you see us, take a photo. It's not us. You can share it on the internet because it's definitely not us. We don't eat cheeseburgers, afternoon. So how well are we spending our time? What is a Buddhist Labor Day? What do Buddhists even do? The days and nights are relentlessly passing. How well are we spending our time? What are you doing right now? Because we want happiness. Okay, all in the talk there.
หันธรรมยังธรรมคถาสาธุการังทดามาเซสาธุสาธุสาธุอนุโมทามิ
Thank you. And just to say, it really isn't about the externals that you're doing. Like, it's not necessarily the case that just someone sitting with their eyes closed is better than someone at their 9-to-5 job, working at whatever they're doing, programmer or manual labor. It's not necessarily the case that the exterior forms are better one or the other. Some can be meditating with a mind totally full of their next Amazon order or their next whatever, the next mean thing they're going to say to their spouse. And the person working at a 9-to-5 job really can be doing a lot of good. They're doing it because they love what they're doing. It's a skill, and they're doing it for their families, they're doing it for themselves, or they're just doing it for an ends to be able to do other good things with that money. And it's not necessarily the case that even all monks are meditating all the time. Kind of the grandfather of our lineage right now, Lumpur Liam, is a worker monk. He definitely meditates very deeply, but also he's in his late 80s, and he's still on the construction site like every day. It's amazing to see him work. It's amazing to see him work because he is really working from this kind of Tolstoyan position of stop for a moment and cease what you're doing and just looking around. He's not at all working from a place of compulsion. He can stop, and he is stopped anytime, all the time. So just wanted to say that, not to fetishize either the work side of things, the work-a-day thing, or the form of eyes closed meditation. And with that, open things up for questions. If anybody in person had any questions or thoughts, and also on Zoom, if you've got questions, you can raise your hand. Yep, please. Oh.
Thanks, Greg. Bravo. Yeah, I just wanted to offer a thought. I've always found the notion of retirement to simply be retiring. Just pondering the concept is exhausting. The other thing that came to mind is that perverse notion of work-life balance that I used to hear at work. And I used to enjoy telling my teams that was ridiculous to carry in one's mind. It's life. And yeah, I really do find there's so much to think about in our present condition. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. That's great. Yeah, retirement is retiring. That's awesome. And also would just encourage everybody, we do have potluck every Saturday. We'll have it today. And it is a time to just talk to one another. I'm a monk. I can only say so much about livelihood. Talk to one another. We've got people who have been here practicing in the Dhamma for decades and decades. Steve, just to give a shout out, gave a talk on right livelihood specifically just a couple weeks ago. So you can talk with him. He's the guy sitting over there on the stage. Yep. But the other one as well, that's Doug. He can talk about livelihood as well. So, no? Okay. All right. Yep, please.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that talk. So what I'm wondering about is we all have these defilements arising all the time, but they turn into karma through action and intentionality. So where are we kind of working with this, and where can it be most effectively altered?
Yeah, extremely good point. Extremely good point. We all do have, if we're not yet enlightened, we still do have mind states, thoughts of greed and anger that come up. And that is not present moment karma. That's what's called vipaka karma, or results from the past. So every moment, we've got a couple things going on. We've got the results from the past. Like this body is past karma, resultant karma. And those thoughts, the first thought of, I don't like that guy's hair, or I love that guy's hair, or whatever it is, that thought from the past is just past karma. And what the present moment karma is, which is the karmically significant part that we need to watch out, is the next thought, what we do. So one thought comes up of maybe greed or anger, or just a nice thought. And if it's just a nice thought, a pleasant thought, a skillful thought, then you could just let that go. The Buddha gave a simile. It's like if you've got wholesome, beautiful, friendly thoughts coming up, it's like a cow herder just whose cows are behaving well, and they can just chill out by the tree and just watch. Okay, there's my cows, and they're all there, no worries. Whereas if you've got thoughts of greed and anger coming up, it's like the cowherd who has to really, take out their, very gentle stick and, tap them this way and that. You got to take care of what the cows are doing. So that's the next thought. That's what's karmically potent. So definitely don't beat yourself up for the thoughts that arise in the mind, but do take care about that second thought, because that's our feeding. That's the fuel that we're adding to the whole situation. So that's the line. Definitely why we have these precepts, the precept of not killing, not stealing. So I had a Zen friend, actually, Zen priest friend, tell me, I don't know what you're talking about with precepts. You know, we just have one precept, which is be empty. Just come from a pure mind, be empty. And I said, that's very interesting, because all of the precepts, the ones people recited them, if you recited them, 5 precepts are all about physical actions with the body or with the mouth. Killing or stealing or sexual misconduct or lying, words, you've opened your mouth, let it out, taking intoxicants. These are all physical actions. And that is easier to get our mind around. That's a pin around which we can keep all these cows safe from us, and it's not bothering anybody else either. I'm not, even if there is a thought of anger, I'm not going to speak from that. I'm going to watch. If it's an intelligent discernment of something that somebody did which needs to be corrected, I can watch that and speak skillfully, not from the mind that's on fire. So I'm not going to speak. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to speak harshly. That's a refinement on that 4th precept. And certainly I'm not going to do physical violence. So we're cutting those off and getting better and better at that. But we need to get faster and faster at even that 2nd thought, because we've just been careless and haven't had good moral or mental hygiene, and just, oh yeah, one thought comes up and society doesn't say there's any detriment in thinking angry thoughts, or we might even get well paid for it. So, but here, seeing the liability of these things, next thought, 2nd thought. Yeah, good question. And maybe just one more small question, and then we got a special surprise.
I actually don't have a question. This is your dad and grandma's first time to can I, on behalf of the community, say a big thank you? Is that all right with y'all?
You want to say it all at the same time? No, never mind. That would be weird.
I'm a grandma from the South, and when I think about the impact, do you know that song, This Little Light of Mine? I think about the ripple effect of having a little grandson and raising him in that bright light, and the way I can't imagine what you were like, but I can actually, as a little boy, a son and a grandson. And I just want to thank your grandma and thank your mama and your daddy, and the generosity and bright light that you bring to our lives, and the ripple effect of that, to thank your family and everybody and all your teachers, and the love and kindness and compassion you show to all of us. That came from somewhere. That's deeply rooted in love and kindness, and we are so very grateful to your family.
Nice. Sue, that was so kind, and thank you, everybody. Do you hear that, Grandma? Hear that? Your little hellion made something of himself. Yeah. And pretty much I was just like I was then, except I had hair parted in the middle. Yeah. It wasn't that cute. It wasn't. But thank you. That's so sweet. And we really are like the karma that all of us are planting. We really are. We're all ripples, and that's the importance of like every single karmic act that we're doing. They are ripples, and they do have effects. And I'm really grateful to be part of a community like this, because the ripples do definitely go both ways. And Ajahn Nisabo and I are definitely very gratitude to be looked after so well, both physically. You're all providing every single calorie, every single morsel that we've eaten for the last 20 years has been a gift, and all of your kindness is really extremely heartwarming and makes us want to keep being monks. So with that, we'll switch over to something we do on the first Monday as well, which is celebrate people who are having some kind of meaningful event. Bonnie, is Bonnie here? No, so people who have September birthdays or some kind of anniversary or just some milestone that you would like to celebrate, if you could come up, that would be great. You can actually come up here and we'll celebrate that. You can say it to the community so we can all know and ripple one another. Yeah. Don't be afraid. Yep. Okay, so we can just go down the line, and maybe people can just say their name and what the event is, and maybe also just one significant Dharma theme that has run through your past year. So,
hello everyone, I'm Albert. It was my birthday on Tuesday, so it's the 2nd, and I guess a significant Dharma theme is Kalyanamitta. I think that's kind of been something I've tried to cultivate this year. Thank you.
Hi, my birthday is September 29th, so I got some more time still to think of what my primary Dharma is.
Great. Yeah, thank you for having me up here. So on the 21st is my anniversary with my spouse. And the Dharma factor that's run through my life has been Maranasati. I found it really useful.
it's recollection of death.
Hi, my name is B, and it's my birthday on the 11th. And my word for the year was kindness. So I think that's the Dharma theme.
My name is Josh. My birthday is the 28th. My Dharma theme would be right livelihood, right effort.
My name is Spencer. My birthday is the 18th. And my Dharma thing is breathing.
My name is Sheila, and my birthday's in December, but I'm up here because today is our anniversary. I think my Dharma theme is love and kindness.
Right. Let's get 3 big sadhus for everybody up here, all your anniversaries and birthdays and everything. So, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. We do have, on these days, you can sit down if you'd like. Way to go, Virgos. Go, Virgos. Great stuff. Sneaky guy.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ajahn. Happy birthday to you.
So Bonnie got these fun glasses and hats. Ajahn Kovila's birthday is next Saturday, but he'll be gone at Bellingham Insight. So we thought today would be the day where we celebrate him. And one thing we thought we could do, apart from the birthday hats and this amazing cat balloon, is the usual way of just embarrassing him for 5 minutes or more. And if people just want to share some things they appreciate about our Ajahn Kovilo, that would be great. So
Maybe just 2, because Sue already said one.
by 2, we mean at least 4. Okay. Dad, and we need a mic to you. For the Zoom folks, yeah.
I just, your warmth, your heart, your profound generosity, and watching you over the last 3 years in the development of your practice and your wisdom and your monkishness has been really inspiring, and it gives, I think, a lot of faith to everybody. Just to see your dedication and what you're doing. So thank you from the bottom of all of our hearts.
Sadhu for Ajahn Kovilo's monkishness. Sadhu.
Namaskar, both Ajahn. We have been Ajahn since we started Clear Mountain here, and I'm so grateful for having these two Ajahns here, especially Ajahn Kovilo, who very inspired by the practice. So he created a sitting that usually we sitting morning, evening, afternoon, and it make us to have more, want to practice more, both support him and he also supports our practice and want to be good practitioner. And thank you, Ajahn Kovilo, for the Thai community who he tried to teach us in Thai language and who get to know the Thai community and connecting with the Thai people in Thailand as well. So thank you very much, and to try to be a good example, a good monk. We're so fortunate that we have a special monastery here. Maybe some of you here didn't realize that we got a very, very special monastery to be our leader here. Even all my family, my friend in Thailand also say that too. So thank you very much, and I hope you be healthy, happy, and carry on, be a leader to finish successful our Clear Mountain projects. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Ajahn Kovila's been doing a 5-minute Thai Dharma talk every day for the Thai community online. Yeah, good, good. 108's a Buddhist number.
I just want to thank you for, you have an amazing presence. Just talking to you this morning, there was a maelstrom going on around us, and you were just able to be completely present and focused on the people in front of you. And that's really admirable. And your lightness, the humor that you bring, I just so appreciate the titles of your talks and all of your puns. It just, holding things with that levity and lightness really helps when things are tough. And then the other thing is your generosity. You give so much in terms of the daily offerings, the talks, and doing extracurricular activities like the Seeing That Frees. You just show up in every way, and I really am grateful to have a monk such as yourself here. Thank you.
This will be quick. I really, really appreciate the joy that both of you inspire in this community. And again, I agree with Dory. I really, really appreciate your presence and what everybody else said. Thank you.
Yeah, I also, on the presence, and when I first met you, there was a inner light, and you talked about this at one of the talks about this brightness that can come up within people, and I definitely experience that with you. It's a kind of brightness, a light coming from you that has a very calming effect and uplifting effect on me in your presence.
And just because I don't think I can push Ajahn Kovila any longer, I'll finish, and people should feel free afterwards just to come up and share with him a bit. But Ajahn, just feel very grateful to have you as a brother. I can't imagine what the project would be like without you, and my holy life would be much poorer without you too. So ever since the Poison Oak that we camped in to now, you've been just my best brother, and very grateful for you. So, and someday I will do another book club with you. Thank you. So 3 big sadhus for Ajahn Kovila. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
That's so sweet. May I just say, may it be so. May it be so. Very, very kind things. And I had no idea this was going to happen. He and I live we live in a really small space together, and we don't really do anything. And I don't know how you plan this, Ajahn. Is the garage. Should have known. Should have known. But yeah, very grateful for this community, and yeah, maybe we can do a closing chant together, celebration of all the September birthdays. We did have every month we have a dessert deva, and today it was Susan, yes, who made cookies for everybody, and that's for everybody to share, especially the September birthdays, but everybody else as well, and just a really great community that we have here. So we can thank you all. Thank you all. Oh, good glasses. Let's chant the verses of sharing and aspiration. This is on page 33.
Now let us chant the verses of sharing and aspiration. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, may my spiritual teachers and guides of great virtue, my mother, my father, and my relatives, the sun and the moon, and all virtuous leaders of the world, may the highest gods and evil forces, celestial beings, guardian spirits of the earth, and the Lord of death, may those who are friendly, indifferent, or hostile, may all beings receive the blessings of my life. May they soon attain the threefold bliss and realize the deathless through the goodness that arises from my practice and through this act of sharing. May all desires and attachments quickly cease, and all harmful states of mind, until I realize Nibbana in every kind of birth. May I have an upright mind with mindfulness and wisdom, austerity and vigor. May the forces of delusion not take hold, nor weaken my resolve. The Buddha is my excellent refuge. Unsurpassed is the protection of the Dhamma. The solitary Buddha is my noble guide. The Sangha is my supreme support. Through the supreme power of all these, may darkness and delusion be dispelled.
All right, so just before we go to the official potluck side of things, we do like to get to know people who are here. If you're here for the first, second, or third time, if you would be so bold or willing to maybe say your name and how you heard about Clear Mountain, that would be great. Anybody for the first, second, or third time? Yeah, please. Hey. I can say your name.
My name is Josh. It was my first time here. I heard about it from Steve, actually.
Welcome, Josh. Sadhu.
My name is Bo, and I was invited by Glenn.
We know Glenn. Nice. Welcome, Bo. Yeah. Alec, welcome. Welcome. Awesome. Welcome, Rachel. Welcome, Brandon. Awesome. Welcome. Welcome, Stephanie. Stephanie. Nice. Welcome, Leah. Sadhu. Welcome, Alex, too. Your name is Jay. Jay. All right. Welcome. Welcome, Katie. Welcome, Catherine. Okay, well, now it's time for the potluck. Exciting. People, if you're willing, do try to, if you can, if you're up for the challenge, say hi to someone who you don't yet know. That's a good thing to do. Good challenge. And Ajahn Nispa has another announcement.
I wasn't here to see the people who whose birthday it was. Can you raise your hand, or who came up initially? We were hiding outside. Okay, we have like 4 extra birthday hats which need to be used. Are you willing to, Bonnie, will you at least hand them out? You don't have to wear it the whole time. All right. Dad.
All right, so Ajahn Nispa will go and receive his food, and we can all, those who want to, can pay respects